Now we will end our discussion on the menstrual cycle by understanding some key points about menopause. About menopause, right? As I already told you, menarche is the first menstrual cycle that occurs in a female, and menopause is the last menstrual cycle that is occurring in the female, and it usually happens around 45 to 50 years of age. Years of age. Menarche happens around 12 to 15 years of age, which is the beginning of the reproductive phase of a woman, and menopause happens at 45 to 50 years of age, which is the end of the reproductive phase of the woman. Now, why does it happen? Menopause, what is the reason of menopause? So, there are basically two main reasons. First is the exhaustion of ovarian follicles. Exhaustion of ovarian follicles. Now, ovarian follicles, like follicles present in the ovary, they are in limited amount. They are in limited amount, like almost like 400, uh, almost like 400 follicles are present inside a female when she gets when she gets when she enters into the adolescent phase or the puberty, right? So naturally it will with time it will decrease in number, because in a year there will be 12 periods. So depending on that, uh, it will get exhausted by the age of 45 to 50 years of age. And the second reason is hormonal imbalance or clinical conditions such as removal of ovary by surgery, ovary removal by surgery will also cause menopause or the stoppage of the menstrual cycle. Now, what happens when the ovary is removed, follicles are not when the follicles are not present, either by surgery or the exhaustion, what will happen? There will be no follicular development or maturation. And when there is no development of follicles, there will there will be no release of estrogen and progesterone, because at the beginning you can you uh, as we have discussed earlier, in the beginning, the follicles itself are responsible for the production of estrogen and progesterone. Later on, corpus luteum and placenta, they produce progesterone and estrogen. But at the beginning, the follicles are responsible for the production of estrogen and progesterone, right? So what will happen? There will be a deficiency of basically follicles are responsible for the production of estrogen, and when estrogen is not produced, there will be no what do you say no development, there will be no LH surge happening, there will be no ovulation happening. When ovulation doesn't happen, there will be no corpus luteum and there will be no progesterone in the end. So, due to deficiency of estrogen, due to the deficiency of estrogen, which is not released by the follicles, because the follicles are not present, they have either exhausted or the ovary has been removed by surgery, so follicles are not present. What will happen? There will be no inhibition of FSH and LH. No inhibition of FSH and LH, because estrogen only was responsible for inhibiting FSH and LH release from the anterior pituitary. So this will lead to the rise in the level of FSH and LH, rise in FSH and LH concentration. And what will happen? We can find FSH, high concentration of FSH. So FSH is found in large amounts. FSH is found in large amounts. So appearance of FSH in large amounts in the urine of the woman, of the female, will be seen, and this can be used to predict the onset of menopause. So if the doctors detect by clinical test that there is high concentration of FSH in urine, they can predict that menopause uh, has occurred, meaning the stoppage of the menstrual cycle has happened and the end of the reproductive life of a female. So I hope you all understood the whole idea of the menstrual cycle, why it happens, how it happens, when it happens, and where it happens. I hope all these questions are very much clear and embedded in your brain. There is one question that is being asked. And the question is, which hormone shows two peaks during the cycle? So as we discussed earlier, estrogen was the hormone that showed two peaks, one at 13th day and one at 25th day. So I hope you will practice more questions on this topic and on this chapter, and I hope you will all perform well in your exams. Thank you.